Welcome to the second 5 seconds of the show. Now during the first 5 seconds, some of you looked around and you saw some explosives, a watermelon, an alien head, and you already figured out what this show is going to be about. That's what I call the Group 1 people, my favorite. Now the second group, that's Group 2, figured it out when I said the words watermelon, explosives, and alien head. Okay? And if there's another group of people out there, you just follow along and it'll all come clear to you soon enough. Now, today we're going to stick one of these smaller ones inside the watermelon and blow it up. But today's going to be a little more sophisticated than a normal shoot because we're going to have a 2-camera shoot. That is to say, we're going to use my camera and we're also going to use this high-speed camera. Now, this high-speed camera does not seem to have a mounting for a tripod. So we're going to have to get somebody who's willing to stay very close to an explosive device when it goes off and still wear a camera. Because I'm not allowed to use Group 3 people for anything useful, I've decided to recruit somebody to be our camera wearer today. Now, as a special treat on top of that, we're going to do a little sort of Mythbuster-esque bit. Normally, obviously, we're going to use the hell box, but suppose we don't have this. Now, legends abound in the field about people who used just any number of things to set off demolition charges. And one of the most persistent, of course, is your TA1PT phone set, because it has its own built-in generator. Theoretically produces up to 100 volts. Now, legend has it that people have set off demolitions with these phones in cases of emergency. And it is quite possible. It's well within the realm of a possibility. Here's how it probably went down. Yeah, hey, we dropped our hell box in the John. Can you send us another one? Okay, thanks. Just kidding. Actually, we're going to go ahead and hook this up to these leads via a bit longer wire, and then we're going to hit the call button and see if this generates enough voltage to do that. If it doesn't, well, we still have that. So let's go see how it worked. Okay, and here's a tip for the kids. If you ever see a watermelon that looks like this, do not attempt to eat it. Next part is pretty simple. These things just push down like that. When you push down, put the wire in it. And just do the same with the other side. Okay, now we're all the way live. Let's see if it does it. Guess that didn't work. Okay, as usual, the explosion itself was a little disappointing. Hopefully the slow-mo saved that to some degree. But again, remember that we're using very small, relatively safe charges for legal reasons. Guess who hasn't forgiven me yet? Anyway, and remember, today's experiment wasn't to prove that you could set off demolitions with sound-powered phones, but that rather to prove or disprove. And I would say if this particular handset could have done it, it would have. I pumped it about 30 times. Nothing happened. I'm not completely willing to say it's beyond the realm of possibility, but we were unable to achieve that result today. Okay, and for the Group 3 people who didn't understand the joke or made earlier about how to set off demolitions using a phone, think of the joke about Iraq, where the guy goes to Iraq and he asks the other guys, hey, what do you do for sex around here? And they point to the camel, right? And then later, not to spoil the punchline, but later it turns out he was supposed to ride the camel to town. Okay, same deal. If you don't have the right equipment, you use the phone to call in and get the right equipment, you see. Okay. Anyway, with a little more proficiency as far as developing a proper visual effect with these explosives, I'm going to work on that, and hopefully we may have our own food distribution network here shortly. And I also want to point out that that watermelon was no good, which is why I used it. I would never harm a good watermelon, even for my own amusement. Anyway, we'll wrap that up and see what we can blow up for you next time. Thanks for watching.